Hi, this is Rose from Mending Soles, and today we are going to be making the 2-ply Autoclave Comfort Fit masks. This is a special fabric that is supplied to us by the hospitals, and let me talk about it a little bit here. It's 2-ply, there's 2 layers. There's a blue layer and a white layer. And when you're making the mask, it is very important that the white layer is to the inside next to the skin. There are some stickers on the fabric sometimes and on the blue side, and when you pull it off, it may be a little fuzzy. That's okay, don't worry about it. So this fabric comes in different sizes, and on our website, depending on what size we get, we have layouts for cutting out the masks and the ties. So this one is the 48-inch square, and it's folded. And notice this red along the side here. That's referring to this perforated edge of this fabric. It's on either side. And we had a request from the hospitals that this perforation be on the side of the masks and not going across the top. So that's why we have the layouts the way we have them. And also, we have been getting 24-inch fabric. So the ties, when we're cutting the ties, they're actually 36-inch long ties when we've got the larger fabric. But when we have the 24-inch, we are going to end up cutting 18-inch ties, and then we'll piece those together to make the 36-inch tie along the side. So here is the pattern, and you're going to cut it out of both the blue and the white, and so there's the pattern. And then the ties are 1/2 inch by 36 inch, and they are a single ply, so you're only going to be using, you can use the white or you can use the blue as a tie on the mask. Okay. So at the sewing machine, you want to use a good quality polyester thread, because when they go to do the autoclaving sterilizing of these masks, because they are reusable, the polyester will hold up well for the type of autoclaving that they are doing. So I have started this one already. I have these 2 together, and you're going to sew on the bottom a 1/4 inch seam just to sew those 2 together. And then up at the top, we are going to be inserting some bendable twisty ties to form around the nose. So to do that, I'm actually going to show from the other side because you can see better with the white. So to do that, to make this little pocket that we're going to put that in, is you're going to find the center of the top side. You can just do that by folding it. I've marked it here. And then you're going to want to go 2 inches over and make a mark, 2 inches over and make a mark. And the mark what I used to do this with was actually a air-soluble pen, so this mark will disappear. Then you probably are going to want to make a little dot here that this is 3/4 of an inch from that edge. So I put one there and 3/4 of an inch from that edge. Okay. So we are going to start sewing on the edge, and I'm going to sew to that point there, and it's just a 1/4 inch seam. And I'm just going to sew over to this point. If you have a needle down function on your machine, go ahead and activate it. And we're going to stop with the needle down, pivot, and we're going to sew down to that dot. And then we're going to turn, and we can use a 3/4 inch marking on our throat plate if you'd like, but we're sewing 3/4 of an inch away from that curved edge over to this other point. And when we get here, we stop and pivot and just go up. Oh. Actually, I didn't need to go that far. we're going to sew off this way, the 1/4 inch. Okay. So here is the pocket, and we have gotten these twisty ties. They're a plastic twisty tie, and to give it some extra firm support, we're actually going to insert 2 of them. So I have crimped the ends in a little bit on both of them and then bended them so that they will fit nicely into that pocket. So I'm going to just slide this in and slide this one in. And just snug them up. And now I'm just going to close the pocket up. I've moved my needle position over because I don't want the foot to ride on those twisty ties. It may kind of fall off, kind of like a zipper. So if you have a zipper foot, you can do that also, if that helps. And we're just going to back stitch a little bit here. And you just want to keep those twisty ties and just sew it closed. Okay. And you are going to need to trim all the little threads off before you turn the masks back in. So you can trim them as you go or when you're all done. So there we have the nose wire in there. Now we're going to go to the sides, and to make these tucks, to make it fit better on the face. So you're going to take the mask and fold it in half with the white sides together, the blue out. And going back to center needle position. And the fold is going to go along the 1-inch line on the throat plate. And we're just going to sew in about a 1/2 inch and back. And you will do that on the other side as well. We're then going to open this up with the white side down and just put your finger in there and kind of just smush this down, distributing the fold. You can see it from here, and that's what it looks like from a cross section. And we're just going to sew this down just temporarily, because when we sew the strap or the tie on, it's also gonna hold it. We just want it sewn down initially, make it easier. So we would do that to the other side. Then we have down on the bottom where the chin is, we're going to put in a small tuck, and this also helps form to the face better. So we're going to fold the bottom in half, and this time we're going to sew a 3/8 inch away from the fold. And that's about right. And again, you're just going to sew about a 1/2 inch and back. And so the tuck doesn't stand up, you just push it to one side and just stitch it down. And I'll probably want to back stitch that. Okay. Now we're going to put the tie on the side. So like I said, if you do have the 24-inch autoclavable fabric, you will have 18-inch ties. And you will just put this along the edge, overlapping them just a little bit, and then that will be fine, and you'll be stitching them down. For the 36-inch tie, I'm just going to take it, fold it in half, and lay it on the center of that tuck. Now we can't be using pins with this fabric, so I'm going to use my little clips. And then this is going to be angle folded off to the side. You can go this way, or you can go this way, whichever way works for you. And I'm going to set my machine up to a zigzag. Just a standard zigzag. My machine comes up at 4.0 width and a 3.0 length, and that works just fine. And we're just going to stitch this down and back stitch this. This is going to take a little wear and tear and pulling, so make sure that's stitched down well. And we're going to do the same thing on this end. Okay, and then you'd put the tie on the other side. So just be sure to trim all the loose threads, and then here is your finished 2-ply autoclavable comfort fit mask. Thank you so much for joining me. We appreciate you guys all who are making all these masks for the hospital workers and crisis workers. So thank you so much. This is Rose from Mending Souls. Good night.